Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm so glad to have you here. Today we are going to create some beautiful ocean waves using a monochromatic watercolor palette and salt. We'll even include some deep breathing for extra relaxation. But before we get started, let's go over materials. For this project, you'll need watercolor paper. I'm using 140-pound cold press. I'm also using some washi tape. It creates a nice frame around your artwork at the end. I'm also using a watercolor palette today. This is from Mei and it has all kinds of blues. I want you to pick your palette with your favorite blue as well as a white and a black. And for my brush today, I'm using a number 6 quill brush, but you can use any kind of brush, whatever you're most comfortable with. I also have this spray bottle to activate pigments. It's very handy. And of course, I have the usual water and paper towels. And as a special ingredient today, we also have salt. This is going to add texture to our painting. And I have table salt here and some coarse sea salt. Use whatever you have on hand. And finally, if you can and would like to, I suggest turning on some ocean sounds on your TV, phone, or other device. I find it really supports the relaxation aspect of this exercise, and I know personally it helps me get into a flow and paint more freely. And that's it. Now let's make some waves. All right, remember how I said you'll want to have your favorite blue handy? That's because you're going to be using your favorite blue to mix up a monochromatic color palette. I'll show you with my favorite blue. So a monochromatic palette is just a variation on one color called a base hue. My favorite blue right here will be the base hue for this palette. I'm going to add it to 4 separate sections of my mixing tin, and I invite you to do the same, and then we'll start doing some additional mixing. Okay, so the first variation we're going to do is called a tint, and you make a tint by adding white to your base hue. So that's what I'm doing right here. I'm just adding a little white to that blue color, and it makes it lighter and brighter. The second variation we're going to do is called a shade, and you create a shade by adding black to your base hue. And obviously it makes a darker color. So there you go. You have a beautiful shade of blue. For our final variation, we're going to create a tone, and you create a tone by adding both white and black to the base hue, essentially gray. And this mutes the color and makes it softer and a little more dull. So now that you have your base hue, your shade, tint, and tone, you have a monochromatic color palette, and you can start painting some waves. The waves themselves are actually quite simple to make. You can just let them go up and down and curl around following your breath. I like to sync up my breathing to any ocean sounds I might be listening to, so I'll usually take a deep breath in to load the color as the sound of the wave rises, and then I'll make a long, smooth, winding stroke while exhaling to the sound of the wave crashing. So give it a try. Take a deep breath in as you load the color, and a deep exhale out as you let the color go on the paper. Keep doing that until you fill your paper with all your waves. I'll check in when it's time for the next step. Once your waves have all rolled in, it's time to add salt. And quick note, if the watercolor on your paper has started to dry, just give it a light spritz of water to reactivate the color. With the paper wet, grab your salt. Today, I'm using regular table salt as well as coarse sea salt. By sprinkling salt on our wet waves, it will soak up the pigment and lift the color in those areas, leaving behind salt blooms. This creates a lovely texture, which is great for crashing waves. I like to sprinkle the finer salt loosely along the wavelines and then the coarser salt at the crest. But feel free to experiment. There is no wrong way to do this. Let the salt dry completely before removing it. This can take a little while, so step away if you need to, or if you have the time, keep breathing and listening to those relaxing waves. Once the salt is dry, you'll know by touch and also it'll stick to your paper. But once it's dry, you can lightly brush it off onto a paper towel or into a wastebasket. Once you've brushed off the salt, remove the washi tape to reveal your salty watercolor waves painted with a lovely monochromatic palette. So what do you think? And do you feel more relaxed? Let me know in the comments. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos like this, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. As always, thank you so much for creating with me today. Until next time, take care.